Let me take you in my arms. And if I take you home, I won't do you no wrong. Out on the dance floor, she's shaking that thing, make you howl at the moon, make the hummingbird sing. Baby, let me take you in my arms. And if I take you home, I won't do you no wrong. Hey, you can climb up a hill, you can climb up a tree. If you want some good loving, baby, climb right on to me. Let me take you in my arms. And if I take you home, I won't do you no wrong. I ain't gonna hurt you.
Steve Bowers welcoming you to Studio 6 and an opportunity to showcase the extraordinary talent of Little Boys Blue. We're talking about Jimmy D. Taylor. We're talking about Alex Taylor, Dave Mallard, Mark Brooks back on the drums, David Michael Thomas over here on the keyboards, and Mr. Goodson. It's good to see you, Tyler. It's good to have you with us as well, and Jimmy D. Taylor. I think that I was one of the first people to ever play on the radio a Little Boy Blues CD.
I think you were. That was around 1995 or 6. Okay. Steve Patterson and I started around 93 playing as a duo, and we formed the group in 94. Had a lot of different players over the years, but we're still kicking.
Well, it's come a long way in really these 20+ years.
It really has. We're fortunate that we're making music still today. We've got different players. The core is still there. Myself, you know, and Steve played up until last year, and Steve took some time off, so Tyler is in with us, and we're just having a good time.
Okay. Well, there's an album CD that you're pushing now, Bad Love, and then you just recorded another one, I understand, and went to Muscle Shoals to do this.
We did. Bad Love we released here at Jackson Records in 2014. We actually did an official release last May of 2015. At the time we released it, we really didn't know how the system worked in any genre of music. We hired a publicist last May from the UK that had, she lives in Memphis, and she has done a fantastic job. Just this week, we've had probably 10 different syndicated airplays in France and Australia, the UK, all over the United States with internet radio. That's really, it's been great. We've gotten a lot of response, sold a lot of product, and gotten a lot of gigs out of it.
So this is where we may see this spreading international. Well, it already has spread internationally.
It has. We've had opportunities. I think we will continue to have an opportunity. Australia has really been the surprise for us, and New Zealand. For some reason, this summer we play a lot on Bill Street, kind of become our second home, Rum Boogie Blues Hall. And we've had a lot of Australian New Zealanders there, and getting information and staying in touch and playing our music, so we're flattered.
Okay. I want to later on talk about the recording experience down at Muscle Shoals and then music history. We're talking about everything from the Happy Goodman family to Denise LaSalle that these people have worked with. And there are all kinds of stories here, and a few of them we can actually tell. And so we're gonna get into that. But it is an extraordinary group of musicians, all from right here in our area. We're pleased to have them with us. Want to let them get back to what they do, and we'll have time to talk later. It's great to have you here, Jimmy. Appreciate it. I'm glad
Absolutely.
This has moved our way. We're going to clear out of the way. This is Studio 6 with Little Boys Blue.
Something going on. It's been days since I've talked to you, babe. That's way too long. So I drive by your house, I pull in the driveway, I beat on the front door, babe, but I think it's way too late. I can see the lights on. Ain't nobody home. Yeah, it's just a house with a street, no. Just a house, but it ain't a home. How's it you ain't in it, baby? Yeah, it's just a love tune song. And I drive by your house, I pulled in the driveway, I beat on the front door, baby, but I think it's way too late. I can see the lights on. yeah, baby, it won't never be the same. Hey, since you left me, honey, it's a crying doggone shame. When I drive by your house, I pull in the driveway, I beat on the front door, but I think it's a way too late. I can see the lights on, baby. Yeah, ain't nobody home. I saw you, baby. We're across the road. It reminded me all the good things we used to do. I can see the smoke rings on your cigarette, baby. And it reminds me of love gone up in flames. Is that Junior man, baby? Hold your hand. What can it do for you that I can't? Right now I see the smoke rings on your cigarette, baby. And it reminds me of a love gone up in flames. Good love gone up in flames. we ever get together again. Once you done your brand new man, right now I see the smoke rings on your cigarette, baby, and it reminds me of good, good love gone up in flames. The good, good love gone up in flames. Here's a song we wrote off our first CD called Cajun Girl. She loves the rock and roll. You wanna see her when she hits the dance floor. I got a little girl that was born on the bayou.
Welcome back to Studio 6 and Little Boys Blue. We'll talk to Jimmy D. Taylor here in just a moment. I want you to know that Alex Taylor's in this group along with Dave Mallard. Mark Brooks is with us, David Michael Thomas on keyboard, and Tyler Goodson with us as well, and Jimmy Taylor. When did you first pick up a harmonica, Jimmy?
Probably around 92. I started kind of fooling with it. My brother gave me one. That's the story at my mother's on Sunday afternoon. And
why did that happen, and why did you take to it?
Well, he had been out to New Mexico. My brother's a musician as well, and he had been out to New Mexico, and for some reason while he was out there, he got a harmonica, and I think it took his time driving the 15, 18 hours back and forth from Ruidoso and back. When he got home, he was tired of it, and he pitched it to me one day. But he had learned how to bend the notes a little bit, which is, you know, that blue note, that 4-draw on the harmonica, they call it the blue note. And it just grabbed me. I thought, man, now I want to learn how to do that. And I got completely entrenched in trying to figure it out. And it took a while.
Well, I mean, within a couple of years, you got a CD out.
Yeah. Started playing, and then met Steve in 93 or 94, and then I got interested in writing. I was listening to a lot of the older music after that, and of course the Brownsville music, as we've talked about before, the Sleepy John stuff, and it all kind of just started coming together. And I wanted to do our music, so that first CD was completely all original.
Then you did a lot of Brownsville music on the second one, right?
Absolutely, we did. Steve and I went down in '97 to the International Blues Competition, which we are as a band in this year, coming up. But we went down that year, and we placed third as a duo, and we decided to do a tribute to Brownsville blues. And we ended up traveling quite a bit for a couple of years doing blues festivals. Just as a duo. Which is
Sleepy John Estes and Hemi Nixon, Yank Rachel, all of them.
Correct. That's correct. Yeah. You know, and again, you know, I'm glad picking up the harmonica really opened the door for all the history. I've always been a history buff, but I was a history buff about everything. But once I started playing the blues, I'm completely entrenched in the history of the blues, and it's just really interesting. It's a fun and it's a great genre. It's an American genre. And it's fun to dig into the past, you know, with Sonny Boy One here, and you know, talking to Fulton and his family, and with Sonny Boy and Michael Baker and people like that have been into it for years around here, and you know, it just never gets old to me. I love it, and the older you get, the more it's history, you know. So yeah, and yeah, it's not a dying thing. You know, we're seeing the Europeans, as I spoke earlier. Bill Street, man, they're just really, and it's a younger crowd. What we're amazed at from the UK especially, or the amount of young people, I'm saying in the teens, late teens, early 20s, between 20 and 30, that are showing up on Bill Street and liking this music, where it seems like the younger crowd here doesn't really get into it till they get my age, you know, as they kind of get older. But it's really interesting. Okay.
One other note, Jimmy is such an extraordinary musician. He went to Nashville, the Wrecking Crew, became a session player up there, and toured with a bunch of people. You know, Big and Rich, I don't know who all you worked with, but you've done arena shows and all that stuff.
I did, you know, after we kind of quit playing around 99 or 2000 as Little Boys Blue, had a break for several years, and around 2002 I had an opportunity to go up when the Music Mafia was just getting started, and that was right at the brink of Gretchen Wilson's Redneck Woman hit. And Big and Rich, John Rich had started this music alliance in Nashville for artists that had had a record deal but had lost it. So they all banded together and thought, well, we're going to do our own thing, and he created the Music Mafia. And a buddy of mine was doing their merchandising. He invited me up around 2003, and you know, after about 2 or 3 shows, they invited me, and I toured with them 2 or 3 years in a row with several different people.
You worked a lot of other people too.
Did we did like 50 shows with Hank Jr. And of course, one of the guys that was in there was Jimmy Hall. Jimmy Hall was with Wet Willie. You know, he was a sax player, harmonica player. So, and I got to meet him and hang out with him on a lot of shows. Shooter Jennings, Jesse Coulter. You know, of course, Kid Rock was always coming around. He was involved in that, and had bought a house in Nashville at that time. So a lot of times when we would be out doing a show, we could be in Vegas or wherever we were, and you look up and there's Kid Rock, you know, you think, well, how'd he get here, you know? Okay. But, you know, stuff like that, it was really a surprise element with those people, and that's what that show was all about that we did. And you just never knew who was going to show up and who were going to end up on stage. So I kept, when I'd see people show up, I'd go looking for the camera guys, hey, take this picture, you know, I probably won't get to see this again, you know, so we had a lot of fun.
Well, I wanted to know that, and people to know that there's tremendous history of this group, and we got guys behind us here that have got the same kind of stories to tell. And I said the Wrecking Crew, which is California. I'm old, but the music
well,
mafia.
it turned into the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah,
some reason.
yeah, okay.
About 10:30.
Hold it every night. The recording in Muscle Shoals and the new album is coming out, and this is original stuff that you're doing?
It is, you know. Of course, we're on Jackson Records with the first one, and we still with Jimmy and love it here. But we had an opportunity. We started going down to Memphis and playing in Bill Street, and when Steve kind of had to bow out for a while, and we kind of revamped for a little bit and recorded with the slide player because we like having slide guitar in the group. And but then we ended up having an opportunity to go down to Muscle Shoals through a friend of mine, and we just booked a couple of days, really just to go down there just to say we've been there. But what happened is we went down there in 2 days, and we had a phenomenal 2 days. And we do all original music. Of course, when we're gigging, we play a mix of covers. But you know, on our CDs, we do mostly original. We may cover one song or two, like we did on the last one, if it's something that's in our genre, in our range. But yeah, we had a fantastic couple of days. Ended up going back for a third day and putting horns. We hired the Alabama Horns,
Okay.
which played with everybody. And we feel like we've got a great album that's going to come out next year. So you know. Or this year or whatever. We're not going to say the year because we may see this 10 years from now. So you go buy the album, whatever.
Your great-grandchildren hopefully will see this.
Yeah, and if they're looking, go buy it, please. You know, I may not be around. But yeah, we really are proud of what we've got going, so we'll see what happens.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you so
Really
much for having us.
Going to clear out of the way. We want to talk to some of these other guys a little bit later, but we're going to clear out of the way and get back to the music. This is Little Boys Blue, and this is Studio 6.
As I was saying earlier, we do a lot of blues, but we do stick to the rockabilly tradition, and this is a song that's rockabilly influenced with a lot of blues flavor, called Pack It Up, Baby.
Every single morning when you leave the house, I think, pretty baby, you go stepping out. You better pack it up, baby. You better pack it up, baby. You better pack it up, mom. You better pack it up, baby. You better pack it up, baby, and bring it on home. Yeah, you're gonna mess around and lose everything. The pink Cadillac first day, those big brown eyes, my heart was captured, I just can't deny. You thought it was love, baby, and I played along. Then 8 months later, we played our wedding song. Yes, man, 35 years in the making. That's making good. Every single thought, baby, running through my mind. You see the capture, it was right on time. It was the easiest thing, darling, I ever do. At the very moment I fell in love with you. It's been 35 years in the making. That's making good love. Hey, hey, that's making good love. Each and every day, ain't got no blues to take our love away. All those things, baby, try to break us down. We just stuck together and came out the other side. It's been 35 years in the making. Hey, 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 that's making good. Making real good love. 35 years, baby. Yeah, it's been 35. That's making real good love. Yeah, that's making real good love, baby.
So we wrote this song this summer. I always tell everybody, it's kind of the band joke in a way, but about Dave. Dave kind of got between jobs, and he showed up one day, but he's still all decked out with all of his garb on and driving a new Cadillac, and money in his pocket. And he said, man, my old lady's kind of helping me out. So we started calling him Big Pimpin'. So I went home one night and wrote this song called Big Pimpin' Sugar Daddy Romeo, since he's such a Romeo there. It goes a little bit like this.
Welcome back to Studio 6, a special opportunity to visit with Little Boys Blue. We've been talking to Jimmy Taylor, who originated this group along with Steve Patterson, founded all this, and want to talk to some of the guys that kind of anchored this. We got young men that are with us. Tyler Goodson and Alex Taylor are with us, and Mark Brooks is the man of experience. I just can't get to him back there on the drums, and so, but I wanted to talk to the two Daves here. Dave Mallard is with us to give an idea of the music history that goes into this group so that we can appreciate exactly what's happened here. First, I want to talk to Dave about his music history. You say you started with the Happy Goodmans.
Well, actually, I started at 13 years old playing with the big boys here around Jackson. In 75, 76, I went with the Goodman family.
You were what age then?
I was 18, 19 years old.
So that's your first real get on the road, get into this business.
Yeah, so working with those people showed me what professionalism was all about. They were at the top of their game. I think the week I went to work for them, they had 3 songs in the top 10. Okay. So yeah, that was a great honor for a young kid. After that, I went to work primarily country, opening shows, doing A-rooms. Work for people, not to get into a whole list of name dropping here, but some of the big ones, George Jones, Merle Haggard, Vince Gill, Dwight Yoakam. Probably one of the biggest thrills was working with Keith Whitley, his next to last show in Hutchinson, Kansas. That was something I'll always remember. What a great guy, and he was
writer
on his way.
as well as performer.
Yeah. And this is kind of blues, my first technically blues band. However, looking back, there's blues in everything that I ever played. If it's a Hank Williams song, there's blues in it. But I feel so fortunate to be playing with Jimmy and all these guys on the stage. They're just tremendous. And it's opened my head up to the blues thing. Jimmy's given me history lessons on where this all came from, and I'm getting so appreciative and just glad to be a part of the blues community.
It's a great West Tennessee root to all this as well.
It is.
Sure is.
And, you know, yourself, I've been lucky to work with some of the rockabilly legends from around here. That's important. So I'm sort of a melting pot of a little bit of everything.
I wanted to call attention to this because it's a great history and all this. I want to step over this way because Dave and Michael Thomas took a different route in this, but I know as far as blues, you worked with Little Milton.
Yep.
You worked with Denise LaSalle.
Yep.
And that's real stuff.
That is real stuff. I don't think I was ready for it or even knew what I was getting into at the time, and it's probably better that way. If I had known exactly what
How did you meet them or get to work with them?
I had met through a mutual friend, the guy that was playing bass for Milton at the time, and he was looking for a keyboard player. I was 19 years old, very, very green and wet behind the ears, and just snatched me up and taught me a lot.
Because did not Joe McKinney work with him?
Joe McKinney worked with Milton prior to me getting hired on, but a friend of mine named Al Wilder got me the audition, and I ended up getting the gig after my first show, which they didn't tell me. They had given me 27 songs to figure out in 2 days. But they didn't tell me that there was an hour-long band set before that they didn't give me any material to. So it wasn't a matter of pushing me into the deep end of the pool to see if I could swim. It was a matter of pushing me off the cliff to see if I could fly. I guess I did, because I'm still here.
Still here, and it still works. What do you think you benefited most from that whole experience?
Oh my goodness! I mean, you know, I learned as much about life as I did about music. But I had some great teachers, and it taught me more than anything else that the key to keeping a gig is not necessarily to be the best player, but to not be hard to work with. I was trying to think of a word that I could use that I could get away with saying on TV.
Okay.
Not be hard to work with. We'll go with that right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be easy. Okay. Well, it's good to have these folks with us. It's great music history, and like I said, Mark and Alex and Tyler have all got great stories. We're just thrilled to have this opportunity to showcase people that are from right here in West Tennessee that are doing work internationally, and it's continued to grow, and it brings in decades and decades of history. It's us. This music is us in West Tennessee. And if you know anything about this, and like I said, John Lee Williamson and Mabel Smith, Big Maybell, it's just, we got phenomenal, phenomenal roots here. Yeah, we do. And it's just great to showcase all this. We're delighted to have them with us, and we're going to clear the way and continue what they do best, and that's the music of Little Boys Blue on Studio 6.
I said, baby, why don't you treat me, honey, like you used to do? I'm begging you, baby, why don't you love me, honey, like you used to do? I've been watching and waiting. Your love come back around. I've been hoping and I pray that you won't let me down. I'm begging you, baby, why don't you treat me, honey, like you used to do? I'm begging you, baby, why don't you love me, honey, like you used to do? I don't know what happened. I can't put my finger on it, baby, but I know I still love you, honey. I still love you, baby. Still love you. Anyway, yeah. I said, baby, why don't you treat me, honey, like you used to do? I'm begging you, baby, why don't you love me, honey, like you used to do? I'm begging you, baby. Mr. Dave, mama. Like you used to do.